Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Woodpeckers Deep Dive. My name's Jeff Farris. Welcome to my shop. Today we're going to take a closer look at Woodpeckers T-Squares, and we're going to talk about managing layout work on plywood. Before we get started, I'd like to ask you to hit the subscription button and the notification bell. That way you'll know about every one of our great videos right when they come out. And if you like what you see today, be sure and give us a thumbs up. Okay, let's get started. So in Woodpeckers catalogs, you'll find that we have 4 versions of this tool. There's one that's 12 inches long. My favorite is the 24 and then a 32. That's 3 different versions in inch scales. And then we have a metric equivalent of 24, which is the TS600. On the inch version, the scribing holes are on 16th centers. And on the metric version, the 600 millimeter, those are in 1 millimeter increments on the scribing hole. All of the T-squares use the same extruded aluminum base that we make our woodworking rules with. So you can see that the extrusion that we use for the rules is exactly the same extrusion that we use for the T-squares. We just then machine in the scribing holes, the 1-inch center holes, and the groove in the middle. In the machining process in making the blade, we also drill at the same time the holes that join the head to the blade. And these 6 holes here and the 6 screws are very carefully machined in here. The holes in the blade are not exactly in line with the holes in the head. They're off by just a couple thousandths of an inch, so that as the screws are tightened, it pulls this joint into perfect alignment. Another feature is the lip that is formed in the head by this shoulder right here. Where most T-squares, that's just a square edge and it can fall. With ours, that lip keeps you dead flat on your material all the time. So the lip and the head give you a very, very nice feature in using the scale on the T-square. The engraving is very carefully controlled to be right at that edge. So when you bring the edge of the square to the edge of your stock, your 0 point is precisely on the edge of your stock. You'll also notice that the edge of the rule is beveled at 30 degrees. That takes care of parallax and gets the engraving right down next to the stock. So if I want to mark this at 2 inches, it's just that simple to get a very accurate mark. Now, one of my favorite features of the Woodpeckers T-square are these holes in the center of the blade. These are 1 millimeter holes, very carefully milled on 1/16 inch centers. And if I take a mechanical pencil and put that straight up and down, and then hold the square in against the edge and slide along, I'm going to scribe a mark perfectly 2 inches from the edge of the board. Now, if you're laying out shelf pin holes, the big holes in here are on 1-inch centers. Okay, so if you're laying out shelf pin holes, it's just that simple. So I've shown you what a great layout tool Woodpeckers T-squares are. Now let me show you a few tricks that I've learned over the years to help you get the most out of these when you're doing plywood layouts. Now while I've been showing you everything here, you'll notice that my workpiece is clamped down to the table with Woodpecker's work holding system. That's very important when you're doing plywood layout work. Let's just take this out for a second and go over to the other bench and try and do some precision layout work. And you can see that we automatically have a problem. If this is moving around on me, which it is if it's just sitting on a table, when I try and do a scribe line here, the chance that that's not going to move is like next to none. Okay, so we really want to secure our workpiece when we're doing layout. There's lots of ways to do that. You don't have to have Woodpecker's work holding system. There are lots of different options available for you to secure your work. Let's take a look at a few of them. So we can use a traditional woodworker's vise using the bench dogs. We can use a portable vise like this old one from the 80s. And if none of those options are available to you, there's good old-fashioned double-face tape. A couple of strips of that. Anything that you can do to make sure that your workpiece is not going to move while you do your layout work. Now we can work securely. Now, the one constant in all four of the work holding situations I just showed you is that there's nothing rising above the level of your table. In fact, there's nothing rising within 1/4 of an inch of the top of the table. That way, you can use that T-square on all four sides without ever running into anything. That's what you want when you're doing intricate layouts. Now I want to show you some tricks about using the scribing guides in the T-square, because it's something that some of our customers struggle with just a little bit until they get used to it. Let me show you how to get over that curve. Now, one of the things that's going to help you get the most out of the scribing guides is working with a mechanical pencil. Mechanical pencil is just so much easier to use than a wooden pencil with these scribing guides. And another thing that you want to pay attention to is the lead size in your mechanical pencil. This one is a 0.5 millimeter lead. That's a very, very tiny lead, and a lot of guys like to use this because they think they're getting a really fine line for their woodworking. It works fine, but it does not like the scribing guides. I prefer a little bit heavier lead. This is a 0.7 millimeter, and this is a little bit strong, a lot stronger actually than the 0.5, and that will give you a nice clean line, and it works with the scribing guides very well. Now, we sell a 0.9, and I'm starting to become a big fan of this pencil. I've always used a 0.7, but I've been using the 0.9 since we had some of these custom made for us, and I'm starting to get very, very comfortable with it. It's a good strong lead, and it gives you a line that is still fine enough to do precision work, but it holds up very, very well in the scribing guides. Now, whether we're talking about Woodpeckers T-Squares, our saddle squares, or our pocket tees, the scribing guides all work the same. And one of the things that you want to learn when using these is hold your pencil straight up and down. If you lean it like this, you are going to break the lead. There's no doubt about it. So hold it straight up and down while you scribe. I'll put a line here at 2 3/8. Hold it straight up and down. You don't have to press into the board. Just let it go like that. Now, if you are married to wooden pencils, if you just really prefer to use a wooden pencil most of the time, let me show you how you can use these with the T-squares and our other scribing guide tools. The problem with most sharpeners is they put a rugged point on the pencil. They design that angle to make that tip strong, and it's too fat to get to the bottom of the scribing hole. This is a German-made pencil sharpener that creates a very, very long tip. Put a fresh point on here, and I'm going to put this down so John can get a tight shot showing how much longer the bevel on that pencil is using that artist's sharpener. Now, these you can find at better art supply stores. I'm sure they're available online as well, but be sure that you get not one of the copies, but you want the one that comes from Germany. It's a very nicely made little tool. Now, one more thing about your layout. You're going to make a mistake, so be prepared. If you rely on the eraser that's at the back of your pencil, someday you're going to run out of eraser. No, it happens to me all the time. You can see on my wooden pencil, there's nothing left. So you need to be able to rely on something other than the one at the back of your pencil. My wife is a bookkeeper, and she loves this one. That is a very good eraser. and it just keeps advancing almost like a pencil. That's a good one. This is an old school version that artists use, and it works exactly like a pencil. And you sharpen it just like a pencil, and it feels just like a pencil. And then there's the good old-fashioned kindergartner giant eraser. That'll get the job done too. Although, looks like, yeah, I think that the bookkeeper's eraser wins. Gets the cleanest erasure of the lid. But do grab some kind of an eraser so that you have something besides the one that's at the back of your pencil. So this is a fantastic layout tool of the three sizes, 12, 24, and 32. Which one's my favorite? Well, I just really don't like to play favorites. I don't want to point you toward any one size in particular, but you might get the idea that I sort of lean toward the 24. And if you're a metric fan, this is approximately the size of the metric T-Square. Hey folks, thanks so much for watching today. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you always know about our next video. And if you liked what you see today, be sure and give us a thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Deep Dive.